Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 60. It's Ilya here, and as always I'm super glad to have you on my channel. As you know, we're gonna have a look at the market, what opportunities did we have and what can it provide us for the week ahead. It has been a massive week with tons of opportunities, and I'm gonna show you every single trade that I took with a nice breakdown and a future expectation for the week ahead, so you can grab as much value as possible from this video. So if you're new to the channel, it's all about trading. I share weekly analysis, I share educational content, and much more is to come, more about psychological issues, emotions, how to control them. I have a lot of things on the list, so make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell in order not to miss the upcoming content. And if you already did, what are we waiting for? Let's have a look at the market. Alright, as always, starting from the DXY, from the weekly time frame, to have a look at what is happening with the dollar. But as you can see, it has been falling for 6 weeks already. The dollar has massively been flushing to the downside. Very weak dollar, providing us with a very strong euro and pretty nice opportunities, because when you know that the dollar is extremely weak, you just look to buy Euro USD, to buy Aussie USD, and the other pairs that are oppositely correlated to the dollar, right? So weekly time frame, well, we can have a look right here. We can see the candle that is very bearish. However, we have a wick on the bottom, which was some profit taking at the end of the day, I should say, because you can see on Friday we had this nice bullish candle with some profit taking from this massive move to the downside. So I'm not a long-term trader, so I cannot say, for example, that the market will pull back into like some sort of areas like this, but it can provide us with a daily pullback, so make sure to monitor for some daily pullbacks. And what I'm gonna focus on is the 4-hourly time frame, because I don't care about the daily pullback, because if the 4-hourly time frame changes for me, I'm gonna be taking buys, right? Because as intraday traders, you don't have to be looking too much on the daily. It's always helpful to look where price is, but like if you want to be intraday trading, then you have to be focused more on the lower time frames, and my highest time frame that I analyze is the 4-hourly. So what we can see, guys, massive bearishness right here, pushing to the downside, pulling back, lower high, lower low, lower high, massive flush to the downside right here, even a gap to the downside. And then on Friday we had this withdrawal to the upside. So it's pretty clear structure. What do we have right here is this oops, not the text box, is this lower high formation that the market is pulling back extremely strongly to. So very crucial to see, guys, because a little tip from me, when you have equal lower highs, for example, this will be an equal lower high, like what the market does most of the times is it will pull back to that equal lower high. And as you can see, this little structure right here, which on our occasion is this one, the market can pull back to create an inverse head and shoulders and start to push to the upside, right? So we might have a little bit of a pullback from that area, and then we might start reversing to the upside, right? So but this is something definitely that I will be looking at, because are we going to have some bullishness on the dollar, maybe a bigger pullback? We don't know, but I really want to see how the market is going to react at that level, guys. So potentially, as I said, it can provide us with some selling pressure from the upside, but I want to see then start to continue to the downside. Because maybe if on Tuesday or late Monday it breaks to the upside, then comes back for a retest, then it's a whole new picture. So make sure to stay tuned for my Tuesday analysis, where we're going to have a fresh look at the market. But as you can see, guys, extremely simple analysis, just taking a look at this lower high and how the market is going to react to it. Euro USD, perfect opposite correlation to the DXY. As you can see, we had a massive week the previous one, and this week we just opened, guys, with a little bit of a gap, and we straight continued to push up. And again, we have a little wick on top. Well, it's not little, because it's like, yeah, 50% of the whole candle, so it's actually containing some information. But this was on Friday. Again, we had some profit taking, as you can see, a little bit of a bearish candle. So from daily time frame, again, you can see we don't have any pullbacks. It's just a straight line to the upside. So can we expect like a bigger pullback to the downside? Maybe for the swing traders that are going to draw their flip like this, maybe we can expect a 61.8% in and around this kind of area. Who knows? But what I'm going to focus on again is dropping down to the 4-hourly time frame. And what we can have a look at, guys, right here is that we have plenty of long opportunities. As you can see, the market opened right here on the 27th, straight push to the upside, pullback, failing to break below. Right here on numerous occasions, long opportunity, pullback again, lower high formation, another beautiful long, as you can see, for a massive high. And right now on Friday, as you can see, 31st of July, when the market opened right here, Asian session, we withdrew to the downside, breaking this structural level right here and actually trying to come to create an equal higher low, similar to the dollar, but the dollar is a little bit stronger to the upside. So this is EU. What I'm going to mark on this chart right now is this area that the market failed to break. So I'm gonna see how it reacts to it. Very similar situation that might happen to the dollar as well. The market might push into that area, might provide us with a pullback, but always keep in mind this little zone right here. Because if you create an equal higher low, then there is a very high potential that the market will pull back for a head and shoulders and start reversing to the downside. So far, everything looks bullish. Like just the hourly time frame, that it's a little bit aggressive to the downside, but this doesn't matter as long the full hourly time frame is bullish, right? So if I need to take a long, guys, I will definitely need to see the market starting to reject right here, at least one bullish candle to show me some sort of support. Then on the hourly time frame, I will need, for example, some consolidation right here, maybe a strong engulfing candle to break structure, and then on the 15-minute we will have a retest, and then potentially we can target a new higher high. So let's see, pretty early to tell what's gonna happen on euro. I'm very impatient for Monday to see actually what's gonna happen. So far bullish bias, guys, but again, don't remember the DXY that it might reverse to the upside, which will lead Euro USD to start pushing down. Euro JPY weekly time frame, similar situation right here. The market opened with a little gap to the downside, created a little wick, so we had a pullback right here, and the week ends up pretty bullish, closing above this wick right here, meaning we have created a new high. So from a daily time frame, again, you can see a nice push to the upside, a nice correction, which was a beautiful higher low actually from daily time frame. You can see 50% to 61.8% area, and we just fulfilled the extension, as you can see, the 27 extension to perfection. So this move was actually completed for a daily time frame. The full hourly time frame was a little bit tricky because, as you can see, when the market opened around just right here, it started to consolidate. Then it provided us with this nice push to the downside. So we were like, all right, break of structure, maybe we're about to go down. However, as you can see, even if you try to take a sell right here, maybe there could have been a sell, because you can see we have some rejections right here, bearish engulf, maybe could have been a retest. But what happened is that the market emerged above the EMA, and then came back to retest this structure to perfection, creating an inverse head and shoulders, which was a beautiful opportunity right here. If you go to the hourly, push, correction, and if you go to the 15-minute time frame, you can see how the market gives you first signs. We have our downtrend, push, break of the downtrend, first entry, second entry right here. I keep dragging the text box. Second entry is right here, and then the market continues to push strongly to the upside. So you can go on EJ, analyze it, always analyze the market from the previous week. But what do we have right now is this massive impulsive move to the upside. So what can we expect? Well, I always want to draw my previous higher low formations, but it's not that clear, because I can see when the market pushed, it started to create wicks to the downside, but it's not a clear pullback, but it's just showing wicks, which actually retested that structure. You can see with that wick. So I'm just gonna draw a little line like this, just to keep reminding me that this is my higher low. So what I'm waiting for, guys, is for a pullback. So where the pullback can potentially take place, well, we can drop to the hourly time frame, which is already occurring, right? We have a nice push and we have a nice and corrective pullback. So if I draw my FIP as well, I love trading the hourly time frame. We are into the 38.2 and 50% zone. So you can definitely drop on the 15-minute time frame if this was live market, to draw our structures and to wait for a nice impulsive move, retest, and continuation for a new higher high. So looking for buys definitely on EJ, but patiently waiting for Monday to open, because the market might just flush to the downside if the euro opens weak. So let's be patient, but monitoring potentially for this little retest area if it's gonna break, and then from a full hourly perspective, monitoring for the major structure, which is right here, and this higher low formation. But from an hourly time frame, remember that we might have a little bit of a long opportunity, but I will just not go for it straight ahead on market open. So stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis on Telegram. Euro Aussie, a pair that I usually don't break down, but I took a trade on it, so let's have a quick look. So from a weekly time frame, nothing much. The previous week was a strong wick to the downside, indicating that this sort of a weekly supply or demand area is holding pretty nicely. So this was a little bit of confluence to me, but I did not take my trade from a daily or weekly. But even on the daily, we had this nice push to the upside with the break and retest of the previous structure, which is just right here. Another very nice confluence. And then on the 4 hourly time frame, I actually took my trade on the hourly time frame, and I believe it was just right here when the full hourly structure shifted, right? because you see a massive push to the upside, a pullback, little lower high formation, trying and failing to break below, and a nice emergence above right here, so we can wait for the pullback. And as you can see, hourly time frame nicely emerged right here, starting to correct a little bit of manipulation right here. This was during Asia, as you can see, 1-2 a.m. Nice push back down, consolidation. So when you go to the 15 minutes, when I was at the chart, it was around right here when the price emerged above the EMA and provided me with my beautiful entry. Just right here on the wick, stop loss was, I believe, something like this. I believe 14 pips, a little bit conservative, because I could have placed it something like this. But I said, yeah, let's just put a few more pips. And as you can see, a massive move and a very quick move to the upside, fulfilling the overall extension level very quickly. And then we even created another pullback to create this, to fulfill the second extension, which turned into a massive trade. But I was already out, and as you can see later, the market just started to consolidate. So very nice trade, guys. You can go on your charts, have a look at it. This is how I took the trade. Very quick, very nice, and very beautiful from a full hourly time frame, break and shift of structure, hourly time frame as well, and 15-minute entry. Trading should be simple. Let's have a look at the Aussie, starting from Aussie USD. Not one of the best pairs to be traded right now. So from a weekly time frame, we pushed to the upside, but we left a nice wick, even more than 50%, indicating that the bearish pressure was quite a lot. But what you can see is that we had 4 days of bullishness. Like on this day, we had a massive wick down, which actually had to get filled, and this happened on Friday. So we had a nice push to the upside, a nice pullback, so potential longing opportunity exactly on market open. But it was a little bit tricky because you can see the market was overall bearish. Then we failed to break. We emerged above, so the trade should have been like somewhere around here, which didn't look too good to me. And afterwards, guys, as you can see, the market just became like, yeah, I just don't like it. It's like very compressed, climbing to the upside, but very compressed and not providing clear structure. Then we massively broke to the downside, breaking below structure, and we thought, well, we can go short right now. But as you can see, the market tried to push down, failed, and then provided us with a massive high. And right now we are pulling back exactly at this area that I'm going to mark, just right like this. And what do we have to see, guys? So after such massive selling pressure and creating an equal higher low, already I mentioned the tip for this video is when you have this, you can always wait for the pullback into the previous structure, which is just right here, for a potential head and shoulders. So I didn't break the hourly time frame because I didn't take a trade on that one. But even if I go here, guys, you can see that nothing is clear. Like it just pushes, like small pullbacks, very choppy, very tricky. Like right here, we had the first failures to break above. So maybe you could have grabbed a short trade right here. And even after the push and the pullback right here, this is the beautiful short opportunity. But it was, again, very choppy, very messy. Then we explode to the upside. So yeah, pretty messy pair to be traded. So what are my expectations for the next week? Well, if the DXY is going to reverse down, then this is gonna start pushing up. But I think we expected, let me just have a look. So yes, we expect the dollar to create an equal lower high formation, to push down for an inverse head and shoulders, and to push up, meaning strong dollar, meaning weak Aussie. So potentially this can pull back as well to create some sort of a head and shoulders and head to the downside. So this is how I'm going to break this down for now, because the momentum is down. We're creating new equal higher lows, meaning that we might pull back for a lower high and continue to the downside. But I will not tell anything. I will not take anything until I see the market starting to reject around that area, or just breaking below that structure and then coming back for a retest. So let's see what happens. Bearish bias on Aussie USD, but patiently waiting for Monday. Aussie JPY, similar situation right here. As you can see, the weekly candle is a very low volume one that didn't move at all. So nothing to have a look from the weekly time frame. And as you can see, guys, 5 days. So the market opened right here. It's just 5 days of a little range right here, just a little range, no movement at all. It was just up, down, up, down, up. So really hard to get any trades on that one. And if I drop to the full hourly time frame to have a look at, like we had a whole week of consolidation. Because if I draw, oh, I keep dragging the text box. If I grab this rectangle too, and as you can see, support to the downside, resistance on top, but it was a very choppy one because we had this break right here. So we expect the sellers to come in, but on the pullback, like first pullback, second pullback right here, the structure actually shifted to the upside, breaking and retesting and providing us with another push up, actually looking like it's breaking above the consolidation. But I would just yeah, I will just wait for Tuesday on that one just to see what it wants to do. I will mark this area right here. That is the broken structure, currently looking like a retest. And if I drop on the hourly time frame, you can see how the market tried to push down, failed, then massively impulsed to the upside, came back for a retest right here. So potentially a long opportunity. No, there's no long opportunity. Just when I see it, it was too fast. So no trades on Aussie JPY. So my forecast for that one, as I see that it's kind of shifting to the upside after this break and retest, right now creating this higher high. However, from a daily time frame, we have this push, we have this little correction right here. So I would expect shorts if Aussie USD goes down. This will potentially go down, but they depend on the JP on UJ as well. So patiently waiting for this one, guys. This is the structure. Maybe this will come back for a little retest and will continue to the upside. I really want to see this because this could be a fake out of this consolidation. Then the market will break back below, come back for a retest and continue down. So definitely waiting for Monday. But for now, the structure is up. Just the most recent structure, so potentially there could be some longs at the beginning of the week. Next on the watch list are the NZDs, which didn't provide us with some nice opportunities. As you can see, the weekly candle, again, very low volume one. It tried to push up all the way, but closed very bearish actually, which is a great signal. So maybe the next week we can expect a bearish candle to form that evening star formation, but let's not rush into conclusions. So as you can see on the daily time frame, the market opened around here, 27th of July, with a massive bullish candle. Then the market immediately found resistance, then a day of consolidation. Then we had this strange candle right here pushing all the way down, then pushing all the way up. And then on Friday, we had that profit-taking candle, nice bearish engulf to the downside, which changes structure on the full hourly, I would say. But just have a look, guys. Like when you have a look at this structure, it's so clear that we're moving in this consolidation, right? So we just had this little fake out. And even if we take the highest wick, right here, like, yeah, again, we had a little bit of a fake out. So consolidation overall, not clear. So the week started 27th, yeah, just right here with this bullish push. But afterwards, like, we had a break of this one, so we could have looked for shorts. But on the retest, there was no selling pressure. We pushed all the way up, so we can start looking for longs. But on the retest, again, no buying pressure. So a pretty confusing pair to trade. So what do I want to see on that one, guys? Well, potentially the market might find support right now. But if it pulls back to retest some structure, maybe on the left like this, provides me with some rejection candles right here, then we can look for a short. But I just want to see this very strong supportive level broken, coming back for a retest, and then potentially we can head to the downside. So let's see NZUSD keeping that consolidation and waiting for some clear move. Right now the sentiment is down, the momentum is down, so potentially we can wait for a little pullback around this area on the left and then try to take a little short. NZD-JPY, exactly the same. So we have, like, you can see all of those weekly candles, like little candle, manipulation candle exactly above the high. Yeah, we'll actually equal the high right here. And then this week is actually nothing, nothing new. So from a daily time frame, you can see that this is a little bit bearish. So we opened right here, pushed to the downside, but after that push to the downside, it seems like the market found some support from the left and failed to continue. But right now, just looking at the daily, I can see a potential head and shoulders formation. So maybe this is something that we can have a look at from a daily perspective. But full hourly time frame is like a little bit messy. We have this push down, pull back, push down, pull back. So potentially we could have had some shorting opportunities. But as you can see, when you want to take a short, like it's just a consolidation, very hard, and you will get faked out a lot during such market structure. So I would really not advise trading such consolidations. Then we pushed lower, introducing the sellers, all the breakout traders come, all the retest traders come, which is perfectly fine, guys. If you trade break and retest, there will be trades like this because the big guys will probably manipulate us most of the times. So this was pretty unlucky, like a break, retest, we had the rejection, so potentially a trade on the 15-minute. But I broke down this to my team that we never had a shorting opportunity on that one, so we were safe, and then we actually reversed to the upside. So from a full hourly perspective on that one, what I can see is from that shift, very similar to AJ, guys. We had this bullish shift, so right now it seems like we're creating a higher high, but just looking at the structure, it's really nothing clear, like very hard to analyze, I just don't like it. I can even do this to tell you that we have a potential like head and shoulders inverse, but right now we're pushing up. So maybe if we have a little bit of a pullback for a higher low, then we can look for buys. The hourly time frame is a nice push and a pullback, so potentially this one looks more buy bias, and I believe on AJ we're buy bias as well. So let's have a look if we're gonna have another push to the upside on the JPY pairs. USD/JPY weekly time frame, another very tricky pair to be traded this week. So as you can see, the weekly candle pushed all the way down with massive selling pressure, and then we had this massive profit taking or support or whatever it is, taking the price all the way up to close like almost where the candle opened, turning into a nice like pin bar or whatever it is, but it's just a nice wick to the downside that can potentially get filled at least 50% the next week. So let's have a look on the daily, and as you can see, all of this happened on the last day. Like you can see on the last day we had this nice profit taking to the upside, creating this lower high and maybe potentially giving us a nice Fibonacci level. Man, I keep tapping that text box. Why do I do this? So yeah, if we grab the Fib, here it is, nice push, nice pullback into the zone right now, so potentially about to reverse, but I will focus on the 4 hourly time frame. So where the market opened, let me have a look. 27th, yep, right here we started with a nice push to the downside, nice correction, so potential short opportunity just right here, the only opportunity that you could have capitalized on. And then we had this big consolidation. When I go to the hourly time frame, you will see big consolidation, and right here we had this push, we had this nice uptrend created, first signs of failure to break. But if you go to the 15-minute, I was looking at this market, like when it broke out, never came back for a retest, never retested broken structure, never, like you can see there was a little level right here that I had, I believe something like this, like a big zone, but it never came back. Here was the comeback right here, but if you took a trade right here, it was already too late, and then you would have been stuck in consolidation for days, right? So again, massive profit taking right now and a massive bullish pressure breaking structure on the left. This is important, because if I drop this structure, like we can wait right now for the market to correct and then to potentially start pumping to the upside. So we expect upside on the USD on the DXY, right? And this already provided us with a massive push up, but this means that the JPY is weak, right? But so what my analysis on this one will be, I will just drop my Fib. When the market starts to find resistance, I will wait for this area. 38.2 is perfectly fine. The hourly time frame is a massive impulsive move to the upside, so if we have that correction, then potentially I will just follow the momentum and go to the upside. However, don't exclude the possibility of this being a daily push to the downside and a daily correction for a move down. So very curious to see what Monday will offer us, but this is my current analysis. Very simple, guys, just one zone and no lines at all. USD CAD weekly time frame, ridiculous pair to be traded this week, and as you can see from a weekly time frame, we have just this little candle right here finding support potentially from this weekly area. Daily time frame, we had 1 day of bullishness right here, but then it ended up all consolidation right here and huge wicks. So I believe this was influenced by oil, because oil provided us with a nice drop to the downside, and this is when this push happened. But as you can see, since market open, which is just right here on the 27th, like we didn't have any clear price action to trade on that one, right? So we just had this consolidation, potentially fake out right here, bearish engulf to introduce the sellers, but it was just a trap. And as you can see, then we exploded to the upside. We can wait for longs, but then the market starts this ugly consolidation right here, massive wicks on market close. So if I'm to analyze structure, like yes, I see a break and a retest of this one. Hourly time frame is completely ridiculous. As you can see, nice push up, chop, 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 break, bullish, bearish, bullish. It's so bad from price action perspective. So what do I wait on this one? Well, I want to see if the market is gonna hold above this area. So this is what I want to see, because right now we have broken this area. This will potentially turn into support. So if the market pulls back again here, starts to provide me with some bullish candles, maybe breaking a retest on the lower time frames, then I can start looking for longs for a new higher high if the dollar is actually going to strengthen. But right now the structure is not clear and I don't have any signals for a trade. So patiently waiting for this one to provide me with something clear. I haven't taken a trade on USD CAD for, yeah, it's been a very long time. So I really hope it will start to provide us with some clear setups, because this price action right here for the last few, what is it? Yeah, it's for the last 2 weeks, let's say, has been ridiculous. So I really hope there will be something better for next month. Another pair that I usually don't analyze, but I took a trade on, is CAD Swiss franc. So it's a Canadian pair, but it was much better than UCAD. So I'm not gonna drop it down too much, but weekly time frame, you can see it's like overall bearish. Daily time frame, you can see we started right here with a little pullback, then we started to drop to the downside, creating a nice lower low, and right now on the final day, we had some profit taking, but overall the full hourly structure, you see, it was looking clear, right? We had this push, we had this pullback, we had this another push, a little pullback, then another push and another pullback. So I believe I took my trade rather from here, I'm gonna tell right now, or from here. So if I drop to the hourly time frame, yeah, I was definitely on the second one because this one was very tricky. Like you can see, it created this big consolidation. So I knew it was going down, but I just didn't want to sell it or buy it. There was a beautiful opportunity right here that I was sad that I didn't capitalize on, but it is what it is, and I just didn't like this whole consolidation box right here. But this is definitely a very good formation, a nice push. 3 taps on the top right here, creating this W formation, and then you flush to the downside. However, after the flush, you know, it's never too late. We again create this nice push, nice correction, nice slowdown around that area. And if you go to the 15-minute time frame, you will see where my entry was, exactly right here on the break of the structure and on the retest. Stop loss above. Oh, come on, man. Where are you? Stop loss above the structure. Was very tight, and you can see massive trade. So I didn't ride it to the downside, so you can see it flushed massively down, resulting in a massive 14-hour trade. And sometimes I like, yo man, you leave too much money on the table, but I simply took my profits around this area where the market started to find support, and it was a pretty nice full hour. So I'm totally grateful for it. But just have a look, guys, with this strategy, how big R&Rs you can get. So definitely excited for the future to work on holding those trades for a longer time. But CAD Swiss franc, beautiful pair. Then you can see we started reversing, so potentially another long opportunity, but I wasn't looking at it right now. So maybe a little drop, maybe a little breakdown. You can see how this area right here will act as resistance, this kind of supply and demand area. Right now we just tapped into it with a strong wick. So what I want to see is if this selling pressure will continue. But from an hourly perspective, we're completely bullish right now, so no way to look for sales yet. So definitely want to see something more right here. So overall sell buys, but you can see with this strong push up, maybe we're about to reverse, and this pair is largely affected by USD CAD and USD Swiss. So it's very tricky to trade, but the structure is overall nice. So looking for shorts for the shorter term, but I don't exclude the possibility of this one providing me with a short and then starting to reverse to the upside. So let's see. USD Swiss franc, not that bad pair for this week. So from a weekly time frame, we had a nice bearish candle to the downside with a wick on the bottom, potentially some profit taking, as you can see the last day. So you can see, guys, massive flush to the downside. It's been 2 weeks that the market is just straight to the downside. We open and we just immediately start flushing to the downside, creating those very little pullbacks. So guys, there were trading opportunities on that one. Like first opportunity was right here on this double top. Second opportunity was right here on this break and retest, something like this on the lower high. Third opportunity was right here, and I actually don't know why I did not capitalize on this one, but maybe because like the hourly time frame, you can see, so it tends to create those double tops. You see, pushes up, then it will come back again, breaks, pushes up, potential short, pushes down, but then it will come back to grab that liquidity and then provide us with a lower low, sorry. Then this was looking very good. However, I believe we were looking at it. Yeah, we were definitely looking at it, because you can see this beautiful, like exactly the structure that I want to see. This beautiful uptrend, this break, retest. So potentially you can take a short right here, or if you don't take it right here, then you wait for a break of this one, potential breakout, something like this, or maybe a pullback, which is right here. But I don't know, I didn't take this one. What's the time? Yeah, it's New York session, so probably I wasn't at the computer. But definitely a very good pair to be traded. Like from a 15-minute perspective, it was a little bit fast, because when it taps the area, it immediately goes. So definitely a very peculiar behavior on USD Swiss franc, but a very good pair to be traded. So what do we have right now, right here, guys? It's very similar to the DXY. It moves along the DXY. So we have an equal lower high. And I already told you what happens when you have an equal lower high. You can have a pullback for a potential inverse head and shoulders, and then start pushing to the upside. So definitely we will see some sort of a reaction from right here, because it's overextended. And if you have a look on the hourly time frame, yes, we're in a very strong uptrend. So there will be potentially a little bit of a pullback, but I just want to see if this push to the downside is gonna sustain and continue to create bearish structure to the downside, or if it's gonna be a little pullback just to grab liquidity, retest this area right here, and then provide us with some long setups. So patiently waiting for Monday, and I will do my fresh analysis on Tuesday to see what happened. But so far, looking for sales, and I really want to see how the dollar is going to open, if it's going to be bullish or if it's going to continue its meltdown. And here we are with the GBPs, having a look at the GBPs. So guys, make sure to watch my recent video where I took 2 trades on GBP USD and GBP CAD, and I broke down GJ and another pair, I believe it was Euro CAD as well. So make sure I will leave a card right now, so make sure to check it out first. So because I'm not gonna spend too much time analyzing and breaking down the trades, because I already did with details. So weekly time frame on GU, massive explosion to the upside, no pullback, so it just opened and just straight went to the upside. Daily time frame, you can see it's just massive impulse to the upside. Final day, we had a little bit of a profit taking. So definitely, guys, we can expect a little bit of a pullback on that one. So come on, it's a massive push to the upside. So we can potentially come back to retest these previous structures right here. Maybe a Fibonacci level from a daily time frame, you can see perfectly aligns. So maybe we will have this one. But as I always tell you guys, I'm gonna see this first on the full hourly time frame. So I don't need that daily analysis, because if the full hourly time frame changes for me, then I'm gonna just start taking shorts. So like from a full hourly perspective, like what can I say? Like it's a massive impulsive move, and if I just draw my higher low, it's right here. So that's ridiculous. The market can pull back right here, but by the time it pulled back to this area, then we can have a push, a pullback, a push, a pullback, and a push. So we might have 2 short opportunities up into that area. So something to think of. What I can see is that the market created a little bit of support right here, and we actually broke and retested it, providing us with a potential like market close opportunity. But overall, beautiful pair to be traded. First opportunity that I took was just right here, and even you have a second opportunity which was just right here, but a little bit of London manipulation. You can see nice manipulation, and then we just head to the upside. So beautiful. Make sure to check the video where I broke it down, but the trade was simply from here, break, retest around that area, massive continuation. Then you can see we have that push, break, retest again around this inverse head and shoulder. So you can take potentially a trade from right here, but I didn't take it because it was too manipulative, and I usually don't fall for those trades. But as you can see right here, we had a break and a retest and a potential short opportunity from this little supportive area. So guys, for GU, it's a little bit hard to tell what's gonna happen now, because the market is too high. We're pulling back, so we can potentially expect a new higher low from that Fibonacci area, but I'm not excluding the possibility of this starting to reverse. So I'll definitely leave Monday to play out to see what is up. Right now we don't have any trades because the hourly time frame is just retracing to the downside, so it's not like a big reversal deal. So I'm gonna wait how it's gonna react around this area right here, and if it starts to support right here, then we can have a look at some longs. But if it starts to break, to melt to the downside, then we can potentially change our bias. So far GU uptrend, but just waiting to see some support around those areas, and with the fresh analysis on Tuesday, we're potentially gonna see what's gonna happen. GJ, massive week to the upside as well. Daily time frame, 5 days of extreme bullishness, and as you can see, the final day actually was pretty strong. Why? Because you saw that massive impulsive move on UJ, and when UJ moves, all the JPYs will move, and as the GBP was already strong, GJ was just on a rampage. So very simple, even from a daily time frame, guys. Just have a look at this. We have a break and a retest, so plenty of confluences to take a long around that area. And I believe where I took my trade, now I didn't take GJ actually, because if you watch the morning, the morning analysis, the breakdown, I did not take GJ because I was already in GU. And the trade, I believe the trade was exactly around these areas right here. On the break and the retest, beautiful downtrend. And on the 15-minute, let me tell you, it was exactly right here. So you can see, again, a break of this area, a retest of this area, and a nice, massive push to the upside. Like, if only I held this, guys. This is a huge move. Like, in this current market, I'm actually very sad that, because once you spot that the market is trending like this, because have a look, this was the trade, like, I believe 14 pips. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like, you can make 21 R on this move if you're patient enough. But again, being patient and holding this trade for days is next level. And as a day trader, I just want to close my profit for the day. But definitely that's something that I will work on in the future, because trading is always a work in progress. So definitely a lot of things to improve on. So GG again, back to see what can happen. We broke above this area. We created a little retest right now in a massive impulsive phase. So definitely we have to wait for the correction. We can definitely drop our Fibonacci, wait for the pullback. And from an hourly time frame, sorry, we have this nice impulsive move to the upside, but I need to see at least a 38.2. So definitely want to see a little bit of a retracement, guys, around the 38.2 and 50% area. And then I'm potentially gonna start looking for a new leg to the upside if the GBP is gonna sustain its bullishness, and maybe if UJ reverses to the upside, we're gonna have a massive run to the upside. And I'm really sad that I did not take this one, but actually all the GBPs are massive. So GJ looking for longs, just needing a little bit more of a pullback. GA, as you can see, guys, massive bullishness on this one as well. Finally some weekly candle that is of interest. You can see this area held. We had this nice manipulation, and the next week we actually explode to the upside, breaking above this structure on the left from a weekly time frame perspective. Daily time frame, close above as well. Nice shift of structure, manipulation above, nice impulsive move to the upside. And 4 hourly time frame. So I did not take a trade on this one, just because I don't like GA too much. Like, I believe it's just my personal preferences. But like, if I'm to break it down, like, I see this as my higher low formation, so which is not that bad, because the market can safely pull back right now to retest the previous broken higher low, or to come around this area to create that Fibonacci level, something like this. You can see 60 and 51.8 61.8 and 50% area is perfectly aligning with this little structure on the left, so we can definitely be looking for continuation longs on GA. So again, opportunities right here, plenty of opportunities if you just trade this pair, but for me it was a little bit choppy. Like G, GU, GJ, and GCAD, GBP CAD, we're looking tons of like way better. So yeah, this is for GA, waiting for a little pullback into that Fibonacci pocket and then taking it to the upside. Euro GBP, let's see what happened on that one. Weekly time frame, you can see how the market failed to break above this structure, which is very nice to see. And right now we have an evening star formation, kind of suggesting that the next week might open with a little retracement, 50% of this bearish engulf, and then we might start melting to the downside. So let's have a look if this is gonna happen. Daily time frame, very nice to see that this overall uptrend right here was broken, and you can see we broke and closed below this structure, which is very, very good to see. So dropping to the 4 hourly time frame, what we can see, guys, right here is this corrective phase right here that got broken and retested. So potentially short opportunity right here. Push pullback again with the double tops, so a little bit tricky to trade, but right here there was a beautiful opportunity, I believe. So if I drop to the hourly time frame, what we're gonna see, so I believe I was waiting on that one. Yeah, I was waiting on it because it's a nice push and a pullback, but I didn't take it because I was already in a lot of GBP pairs. But as you can see, guys, the market creating this uptrend on the first signs of break. So this break wasn't very nice, so you can have taken a trade from here, which is perfectly fine, just for a little bit of drawdown. But then on this break, very nice break, retest. It was a massive trade again that I'm very sad that I didn't take. But again, you cannot capitalize on all of the moves because you have as well your risk management plan. But another very, very good trade to actually end the week. So as for right now, we definitely see that this is reversing to the downside. We have our last lower high formation. We have this nice area that was broken. We can have our Fibonacci as well to potentially expect a little bit of a pullback. And if I drop to the hourly time frame, we have a nice impulsive move. Right now we're starting the correction, but I definitely need to see a little bit more of a push into the highs, potentially in this area right here, and to fail to break it, because right now it's a little bit low to sell. Yeah, and it's in its consolidation as well. This is market close, so definitely waiting for a little bit of a pullback on Euro GBP and then capitalizing on another move to the downside. Gold, guys, on a massive rampage, another week of massive bullish explosion without stop. So you can see that this week closed extremely bullish with almost no wick on top. The next one just opened and straight started to push to the upside. So very, very, very massive. As you can see, we are trending up for quite some time, creating it very hard, making it a little bit hard to catch a little trade. So definitely have to drop to the lower time frames like hourly time frame, because then you have those little pushes and little breaks and retests. But I believe this was from the previous week. Yeah, definitely 24th of July. But for this week, since we opened, we had this nice push up, so potentially a long opportunity right here, but the pullback wasn't enough for me to take a trade. Yeah, definitely not enough. Then we create another push up, but on the pullback, it actually resulted in a nice flush to the downside to manipulate, to stop out all the people that had their stop losses right here. And then we actually started to push to the upside, but overall ended up the week in this kind of consolidation right here, failing to break above. So from a 4-hourly perspective, you know that I always love to draw my previous structure, which is right here. And you can see that there is a little level that the market is failing to break, which is exactly right here. So I really believe 2000s actually, it's gonna get achieved. So we just need, come on, go to one more final tap to tap 2K, and then maybe we can start to push a little bit to the downside. But again, as long as the dollar is weak, this is gonna push to the upside. So if we have a little bit of a stronger dollar this week, then maybe this will start withdrawing a little bit to the downside to create that daily pullback, because you can see, or even weekly pullback, because it's extremely extended and it definitely needs a little bit of a correction. This unbalance has to be balanced. So definitely looking for gold, but you can see how, like, you see how impulsive it was, and you can see how it starts to consolidate. But even right here, impulse, consolidation, and then we actually break to the upside. So maybe this is accumulation for another move up. So very patient to see what's gonna happen on gold. And what I would advise you to do on gold is to focus more on the hourly time frame. Right, sometimes you might get tricked, but if you focus on 4-hourly and on the higher time frames, the market is just pushing and not caring for pullbacks. So you have to drop lower to dive deeper into price and to have a look at those pullbacks. So right now the market as it is in this consolidation, I'm not looking for trades right now, but definitely if I see a nice impulsive move to the upside with a correction, like I can target the 2000s, and from then on we are gonna see. So gold extremely bullish. It's just a matter of catching a little pullback with a nice entry. And wrapping up the video with a final note on the indices. So US30, very low volume. We have actually tons of releases right now for different companies, but as you can see, we just have those spikes to the downside on US30. It's overall in an uptrend, although we had created this double top and a break and a retest of the neckline. Wants to push down, but it kind of cannot, as you can see. So 4-hourly time frame, we had a nice downtrend. I mentioned some short opportunities in the group, but as you can see, like, this loves to pull back a little bit more. So definitely 78.6 Fibonacci is something of interest about that instrument. But right now, as you can see on market close, massive manipulation below. Why manipulation? Because when you see a massive bearish engulf and the next one is a massive bullish engulf, definitely manipulation. So waiting to see what's gonna happen for next week. If we're gonna really break above this trend line, potentially this structure right here, this little structure, and come back for a retest and potentially start to head up. But this instrument, guys, is heavily influenced by the releases of the companies and how well they're doing, because you know this is 30 companies. So definitely have to monitor for their releases, like for their profits, for their financial situations, and whatsoever. And Nasdaq, as you can see, this one is bullish as well, because this contains more companies and those companies are actually doing good. I put some money in Intel because it really dropped, and it resulted in a drop right here. I'm not sure when it was. I believe it was this drop. So I took some buys right here, but it just continues to go down, which is fine. I hope it will recover sometimes. But you can see on this one, we failed to break below. This is 4-hourly time frame. A nice push to the upside, a nice retracement right here, exactly in this area. And then we just start pushing to the upside. So long buys on this one, definitely. Can we continue to break to the upside? Well, I think we can. Depends on the company performance. But currently waiting for a break of this one and potentially another retest, because it's already too high. So I don't want to buy it that high. So potentially I will wait for break, retest, and then a new continuation. So that's for today, guys, and I really hope you found value from this video. Make sure to leave me a little comment down in the comment section if you love it. What else do you want to see? What are you struggling with? What do you want me to create more videos? I will break down every trade during the week as well that I take in order to provide you with some more insights and more learning material as well, more tutorials. So much more is to come. I'm working on a community as well of a brand new program, so very excited about it. Thank you guys for staying up until now. Make sure to hit the like button to support the channel, and I cannot wait to see you on my next video. And I wish you a crushing week, and stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis on Telegram.